Slide, please, Elena. So I recently published a book on the offensive prejudice in language past and present, and that was published through Cambridge University Press for their new academic trade division. And so I'm talking about offensive in the sense of prejudiced against groups of people rather than profane language. So this book was actually influenced by my PhD research. So how? Well, my doctoral thesis was about a semantic analysis of the processes of discrimination. So using the natural semantic meta-language method, I explicated a number of words, including offend and insult, dehumanization and stereotype. And I also examined related semantic and pragmatic concepts, including euphemism and pejoration, amelioration, reclamation, connotation, and politeness as well. So you can take that slide down if you like. I haven't got many slides because of the brief amount of time. I won't be needing that one yet, thanks. So my book explores overt and covert forms of racism and sexism and ageism and other isms that are found in language in Anglophone countries. So that includes Australia and New Zealand and Great Britain and the United States, so countries where English is prevalent. And it's a diachronic and also synchronic analysis, also looking at context. And my research identifies offensive words and phrases and answers the question, why are these words and phrases considered to be offensive? So of late, there's been a lot of public discussion around offensiveness. And there are two main perspectives that are usually politically motivated. So offensiveness is often positioned as a kind of weakness, and people who are offended might be branded snowflakes, or that they're too sensitive, or they're thin-skinned. And conversely, not being offended is often perceived as a kind of strength. So this is shown by the saying, I don't get offended easily. So we're often taught to toughen up and to grow a thicker skin. And we're reminded of that nursery rhyme, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. However, metaphorically, we often speak in terms of language having the power to hurt us. For example, words can be said to wound, to cut, to sting, to burn. And phrases such as, oh, I didn't mean to offend, or it's not my intention to hurt your feelings, suggest that we often want to be polite. We don't want to offend other people intentionally for the most part. And this other viewpoint is that words have power and that words matter. So social justice is particularly important at this time of the global pandemic. There's been a lot of discussion about the Black Lives Matter movements and incidents of sexism in politics and society. So there's a lot more awareness of these issues. So what is the relevance of my research to NSM and minimal English and simple words? Well, from a linguistic standpoint, semantic primes clearly underpin offensive language, its usage and interpretation as well. And there are semantic primes from several categories are relevant to my research, including the substantives people. Of course, we're talking about people and specifically someone, how someone feels about something. So it also involves the mental predicates like to think or to know or to feel. And to feel something bad is often used to explicate pain in a literal sense. But as I've mentioned, being offended can also be described in terms of pain, to feel hurt, to feel wounded, to feel stung, all of those different kinds of terms. So offensive language obviously also involves words like say and words, and the evaluators to think something good about someone or to think something bad about someone. And it also involves thinking about other people in relation to us as either similar, the same, or dissimilar, effectively othering people. And using offensive language categorizes kinds of people, and it involves making assumptions about groups of people based on what we can see and what we can hear about their bodies. For example, the color of their skin or their accent or gender, sexuality, all those different kinds of features. So I've constructed a very basic cultural script that underpins the use of offensive language and captures the interpretation of insults and slurs and stereotypes in Anglophone cultures. So yeah, I'm a little bit rusty on the NSM grammar. If we could go to the next slide, thank you. So it's not quite as developed as it should be, but so an Anglo-cultural script that's linked with the interpretation of offensive language. So something like this, many people think like this. Someone said something bad to me. Because of this, they think something bad about me. They think something bad about people of my kind. Because of this, I feel something bad. It's not good to say things like this about other kinds of people. So of course, there are many related phrases that I could create scripts for in many different ways to phrase those explications as well. So this is just one suggestion, and there's a lot of scope for more research into this area to look into cognitive and linguistic elements of prejudice and discrimination in language. So again, I've only had 5 minutes, so this marks the end of my talk. And if I could just have the final slide up as well, if you'd like to get in contact with me. So thank you very much.